For those of you that are unfamiliar, I've watched Konosuba Season 1 and 2 on Twitch. It's not on YouTube yet because it didn't get voted in. It is on Patreon. It's awesome. I love it. I did watch the Konosuba and Explosion on This Wonderful World trailer during the Konosuba meme stream. So I'm not going to rewatch it simply because I've already seen it before. Even though I forgot what was in the trailer, there's no real point to rewatch it. So we're just going to get started with episode 1 of Konosuba and Explosion on This Wonderful World. That being said, please no spoilers. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun. Let's have a good time. That's what we're all here for. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The VOD's going to stay up on Kick. It's going to stay up on Twitch. And it's going to be on Patreon within the next few days. So subtitle track, perfect, enabled, audio track, Japanese as always. Should be good to go. I wonder who this is. Given the sheer size of her boobs, it can only be one person. How does she not have lower back pain? Deranged. Love it. Wait, so the little puzzle that she solved is basically what was keeping this elf demon thing with the big titties locked up? Okay, but seriously, what the hell, man? These are out of proportion. Like, what the... Like, seriously, what the hell? This is not even... This is just wrong. I feel bad for her. It's probably an area with very dangerous beasts, and she's just casually coming here every day. Oh. Do you want to know about her? Not exactly. Yeah, I was thinking when Megumin was like, how could I be like you? She wasn't talking about the magic. Oh, God. Huh? You see, Megumin is my spirit animal. Why? She really sucks at deterring her from explosion magic. While domination was a decoy, the boobs was what she wanted. Becoming the Devil King was her deflection. Ha! You know what I actually find really inspirational? People that don't have enough or have to work hard to get just enough are typically a lot more generous than people that have everything. When this person for like National Geographics or something similar was in Africa and he gave this kid a lollipop, like he gave him a bunch of lollipops, the kid took one and he offered one back to the cameraman, even though this kid like doesn't have enough food. Meanwhile, people that have freaking everything don't share anything. That's so cute. So that's where it all started. Huh. Where is this? This is definitely not that demon girl from the movie, is it? I hope not. Oh, no, it's got to be someone different. The boobs are a totally different size. Yeah? The word pact is a quite interesting one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does Yui Yui scare you? I think that's the mother's name. She doesn't. I've been with crazier. Mhm. So they were like expecting her to learn a type of magic they could utilize at home. Meanwhile, she's like, no, I blow shit up. Is this like a watered down Hogwarts with only one house? Even in polities, you mean politics, where marriages usually fail, they tend to be called bonds or contracts. I mean, it used to be a form of social contract where like two people are married, but then it became a government contract where two people are legally married and in the eyes of the law viewed as, one household. Why would you want the government involved in your home life? I feel called out. Union is freaking adorable. That is so adorable. This girl just randomly walks past her and gives her a, what was it, clawfish? And she's like, I can't wait to meet this girl again in class. Because she wants a friend. That is freaking adorable. That is so adorable. That's like the most genuine thing in this entire anime. Everyone else has a motive. She's just like, I want to be friends. That is the most pure thing ever. Am I the only one that feels like this whole thing is like Pokemon Blue and Red, where you're in a small town and then you go to this big house in town, which is like the professor's lab, which is about the same size as this room, and then the only other kid in town is basically your rival, but he's also kind of like your only friend because everyone else is an adult. It's like Pokemon with magic. See, you've even got like James's castle where he grew up with his little Growlithe. Or this is like the Pokemon school where kids play Pokemon games instead of actually doing Poke battles. What is this? I want to see the thing on the board. Is it actually anything? I'm guessing that's like types. That's like electricity, and that's probably something else. Hmm. What the hell? How the hell did they get this thing through the door? Look at the size. It didn't come in through the window. How'd you get it through the door? That's too big of a stone carving. Jesus. That's like so impractical. Oof. Wow. So, like, in one of the first episodes of Konosuba, she's all by herself, rocks up in town, and wants to join a party because no one else would have her. And that's probably years after this. So she's stuck to her guns this entire time while everyone around her is telling her it's joke magic. Her parents, her teachers, her cohort, everybody. I mean, you gotta respect that. That's either dedication or stubbornness, which is a bit of both, but like, you know. What is this? Devil May Cry? So this is basically the JoJo Academy. And what was funny at the beginning of this whole thing, Megumin was standing next to Yun. And they're like going to pairs. And Megumin just like goes in the opposite direction. Because this girl was on the far left. And Megumin is just looking at her boobs. She's not looking at the girl's eyes. She's looking at her boobs. So Megumin instinctively went for the girl with the biggest boobs. Megumin likes boobs. See, she's staring at them. See, I told you, she likes boobs. What? Is that where you store your magic? Why does she look like she's about to grab something? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. I'm scared. Uh, Wait, are they like doing the Ginyu Force poses? Wait, one sec, one sec. Okay, that's not a Ginyu Force pose, but I swear one of them in the Ginyu Force did this pose. Okay, close. Someone did this, but they did it with a straight arm. You know why they only accept cash? Because they hate paying tax. You know what my favorite thing is? Every time I go to a restaurant, I always pay cash. And I love it because the owner is usually at the front. And so every single time I go, I pay the owner in cash. So whenever I go to the restaurant again and again and again, they basically give me the table that I want. Like my favorite Japanese barbecue place, I call up and I'm like, "Can I get a table for X amount of people?" And they're like, "Sure, what time?" I'm like, "This time." He's like, "Who would it be under?" I just say my name. And he's like, "Of course, Mr. Underscore will get you your table." I love it. And then when we go there, we get service. We get like the best meat cuts because like regular customer that pays in cash. I love it. You know, those things are impractically big. You need to have like a butt to like balance it out. Otherwise, you're top heavy. You also need to be a little bit, bottom heavy. You gotta balance it. And my favorite thing about like restaurants and cash, I remember I was working at a pizza place that was run by this old Greek guy. And like after a while, he just let me, look after the place. He came back at the end of the day. Is like, "How was it?" Broken English. I'm like, "Oh, not too bad." He opened up like the cash register. He grabbed like the 50s and the hundreds, just put them in his pocket and like went out. He probably wasn't paying any. I remember when he was getting delivery of ingredients, I got like this massive invoice of stuff coming in. And, obviously I'm like, okay, this came in, this came in, this came in. And they're like, "Sign here." And I'm like, all this stuff's missing. And it's like, go talk to go talk to the owner. I'm like, "We've got this invoice that has this number, but only this arrived." And it's like, "Don't worry about it." So he was basically saying he was spending more money on ingredients than he was. And then he was taking money out of the cash register and not paying tax on it. So not only was he not paying tax on earnings, but he was also putting his expenses higher than they were for tax credits. That sneaky Greek bastard. You know what I actually learnt about Greeks? Because I went to a Greek Orthodox high school, right? I learnt that in Greece, back, in like 2010 or like 2008 during the GFC, they only had 2 or 3 swimming pools that were registered. And in Greece, you have to basically pay a tax if you have a swimming pool. But if you look at aerial photos on Google Earth, like almost everyone has a swimming pool in Greece. So like no one was paying taxes. Part of Aura's intro is her basically gloating that she has the biggest breasts. I mean, it is Japan. Sorry, I wanted to rewatch her intro, not lose it. You know what really kills me? We literally had a stereotype in our high school. So at like the age of 16, when puberty basically hits, this one girl had puberty hit her like a truck. Like she went from flat to D's within 6 months. And of course, all the boys noticed because all the boys noticed. The worst part was her family was well off and she was blonde. And then she didn't understand why all the boys were giving us so much attention. She thought the boys were giving us so much attention because of her personality, not realizing that she had 2 things going for her. 1, she was wealthy, so she was driving a Porsche. And 2, she had big titties. She thought the boys liked her for her personality. It was bad because when she was 18, her dad rented out a nightclub in Sydney City. So he literally hired a nightclub in the city CBD on a Friday night to throw his daughter a birthday party. So everyone went, and it was an open bar with like unlimited booze. And when I mean unlimited booze, I mean effing unlimited booze. We're talking whatever you want. Like, it was really bad. And like she was, having fun and she was partying and all this sort of stuff. And I sort of knew how to drink because, I know how to drink. So I was basically recommending people cocktails and all this stuff because I had no idea how to drink. And then she was like, oh yeah, everyone's having fun. I'm so lucky to have so many friends. And me, in my infinite wisdom, was like, you do know why they're here, right? And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you know how everyone has birthday parties and only like 20 people turn up? Do you know why everyone turned up? And she's like, no. And I'm like, there's a bar. And she's like, oh, so you mean they only came for the bar? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, that can't be real. I'm like, trust me. As soon as the bar runs out of booze, they'll be gone. So she ran an experiment. At like 11, they basically closed the bar, by which I mean they basically told the bartender to stop serving drinks. More than half the people left. She gave me the dirtiest look. Like, the dirtiest look. She didn't like me after that. But I was like legit. I never had a filter. I didn't see that she would dislike me after that. It's just, yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Puberty. Like, basically Yun Yun, but with big titties. And a Porsche. And fewer brain cells. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. That is freaking adorable. This dirty old bastard, he took them out for a PE lesson because he knew a rainstorm was coming. Because when you wear a white shirt that gets wet, only one thing happens. This guy's insane. No, he caused the storm? Oh, right, yeah, because he did the thunder thing. He brought the clouds. This is so adorable. They're rivals. Look at that slub squat. I half expected something to blow up in the distance. Oh! Oh! Is that the bloody ReZero rabbit? You make a good point. What if she said explosion and then the sun blew up? Eternal darkness. Oh no! Oh. This isn't a joke. There are some gods sealed in that village. The change from the light novel I'm aware of is Megumin shouldn't have her hat yet. Well, like, that girl even said, it's not time for you to come out yet, my other half. So, she's basically implying that that's half of her power. And then she even started acting all shady, like, did you release me? Has the seal been broken? And then the last time we saw a seal in this village was when, I forget his name, but he unlocked that door with the Konami code and went downstairs and picked up an artifact. So that guy that could basically spawn anything created this place and these people. Like, God knows what's down there. He probably just OP weapons everywhere. The sword of 1,000 truths. You know, like stuff like that's just lying around. Legendary artifact weapons that can one-shot people. Just casually buried in caves. Wouldn't surprise me. But I know that it's a spin-off, and, you know, obviously no one's gonna die and things like that can't happen because all these people need to be around for the series which we've already seen. But it's just so adorable that not only do you get an OVA episode for some character development like you would in other anime for other characters, but they're giving Megumin an entire season just for her own character development and backstory. That's really cool. And they still somehow find a way to keep it interesting. When you have a character as part of a group, it's sort of easy for them to have their moment and be funny and be interesting. But if they have their entire own season, they really have to be able to carry it. And it can't just be the same thing over and over again. It would get stale. So I'm really hopeful they do it well. Because Konosuba is hilarious, but it's a different type of comedy because you have different characters in the primary season. Here you've got Megumin. It's going to have to be a different type of comedy. So they're going to have to introduce other types of characters with cringy things and other stuff, you know, to make it funny. In this episode, they decided to use boobs. I am okay with that. But let's just hope they don't overdo it, you know? Because, like, after a while, it gets a little bit ridiculous. But I find this episode adorable. Yunyun and Megumin are freaking adorable. They're like these two little kids that are secretly friends, but they don't want to be friends because they're basically role-playing as rivals. That's adorable. It really is. I'm kind of sad that Yunyun just doesn't join the primary party. I know she's always going to be there in the background, a little bit like Team Rocket. They're always there. And when the occasion calls for it, she'll get involved. But if she was to join the party, they would have the utility magic that they need, which they lack with Megumin. They'd have a complete party. They'd have a tank. They'd have a healer and a holy magic caster. They'd have Megumin with like massive AoE DPS. And then they would have Megumin with like sustained DPS. And Kazuma, you have, that would just, you know, be Kazuma. Like, you'd have a complete party of 5. It's a perfect number. But they don't do that because, you know, like, that would just solve the problem too much. Assuming this is pulled over from the light novel, one of Megumin's thoughts when in front of the woman was, if I become an arch wizard, I will get big boobs. Yes, more spells than the anime has shown. Probably. The anime has to really, you know, tone down what they show. But, you know, I don't know. But they always seem to find a way to solve the problem anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I never really, like, the problems they encounter in Konosuba, I never really take too seriously because I know the anime doesn't take itself too seriously. They will solve the problem, but they'll do it in a hilarious way. So I'm never really worried about someone, you know, dying. Because they die and then Aqua just revives them, you know. The anime cut down one of the early episodes that would have shown how good Kazuma can be as an adventurer. Yeah, but that's boring. Seeing him suffer and be broke is a lot more fun, you know? It's a lot more fun. Like, yeah, okay, you gotta be a good adventurer, you gotta solve the problems, you gotta beat the game, like every anime ever. But locking up a goddess in a cage and making her cast purification while alligators are attacking her and she's panicking is just hilarious. That's fun. Or the guy challenges you to a duel with OP armor and weapons, and you just blitz him by, blindsiding him and then selling his sword. That's funny. I don't need some massive strategy on how to counter his big sword. It's like, no, that's just a lot more funny. I like it. It's nice and light. All right, let's take a break, and then we can kick off with Resident Evil. We'll actually play some survival horror this time, because Mercenaries mode was just a shooter. We had fun with that. We go back to the story, which is a little more survival horror and a lot less forgiving with ammunition. The point of the cut part was to show how useful Kazuma is to his party. I think. He's the main character. His party just orbits around him. Aqua orbits around Kazuma because she wants to get out of the world. Darkness orbits around Kazuma because no one else would have her. Megumin orbits Kazuma because no one else would have her. See what I'm saying? He doesn't even need to be useful. He's the main character, but he's also technically weakest member of the party. Okay, technically the weakest. Okay, but that doesn't mean he's the least useful. You've got Darkness, which could probably one-shot a lot of people, but she can't hit shit. And you've got Megumin that could probably one-shot a large group of people, but she can't pull that off by herself. And then you've got Aqua, which probably has amazing abilities, but she lacks the intellectual capacity in order to utilize them. So, okay, fine. He's technically the weakest, but in utility terms, it doesn't mean that. The anime doesn't show it, but a lot of people look down on him for being on the adventurer class. Wait, did he pick the adventurer class, or was that automatically assigned to him? But, yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing the adventurer class just gives him the ability to learn things from all sorts of classes. It's like a pick your own adventure. It's not like a goddess, because she's kind of in holy magic. It is the most basic, which is all he could pick. Oh, Kazuma's a basic bitch. Okay. Well, it's not his fault he's basic. He's human. Humans are basically basic. Yeah, it's a jack of all trades class, but has no real buffs to any skills he can get. I mean, that is... Well, I mean, if it's the first time you're playing in the world, it doesn't hurt that you can pick just about everything, because it can help you navigate the world. But if you know what you're doing, specialization would be a lot better. But he's got hyper-specialized people around him. So you kind of need a jack of all trades. You need someone that can hurt a bunch of enemies so Megumin can blast them away. You need a situation where Aqua can actually use her magic properly. You need a situation in which Darkness is actually useful. Otherwise, the whole thing just falls apart. It's kind of required that you have a jack of all trades in that party. Otherwise, it just falls apart. Everyone's too hyper-specialized. They can't pull anything off then, So, I don't know. But then again, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but there is a little bit of logic to it. And it does make sense, It doesn't just, rock up and one-shot people like a lot of anime protagonists do, He has to struggle a little bit and gets his ass kicked, but it's worth it. Alright, guys, quick little break in Resident Evil. The thing about Kazuma is he makes it work. A big of lich skills, some crafting and some smithing, the basic water, fire, earth, and wind spells, some basic bow skills, and some thief skills. Man, he specializes in stealing underwear. The luck skills are where he shines. Yeah, that's definitely apparent. That is definitely apparent. Him and his luck. Yeah.
Hey, did I hand you a shrinking potion by accident? I could have sworn that was the gender swapping one.
Don't be hating. She's fun size, that's all. She doesn't even have to get on her knees to blow.
You want to add anything to that conversation?
Nope, I'm good. In fact, I think your new size makes you an even more formidable and stealthy ninja.